My name is Becky Morales, and I'm obviously a white woman. I'm also the mom of two Black sons. Did you know that most kids who are Black and Latinx first experience racism in grade school? When my older son was in kindergarten, one of his best friends told him, "We can't play with each other anymore. My mom said I can't talk to Black people." And this occurred at a really diverse school. And in fact, their teacher was Black. So this 5-year-old boy was vocalizing his parents' stereotypes of young Black men as violent, volatile, and dangerous. My son had his first overtly racist experience. Fast forward a few years, my same son was 9, and we spent the summer in Peru. One day, our family was walking down the street, and we heard this beautiful laughter of these kids screaming and playing. So as we approached the group, my son and I gasped. We saw these little boys were playing with fake guns and shooting them at each other. And my son looked at me and he was like, "Kids here are so lucky. They can play with toy guns and not get killed." And now my son is 12 years old, like Tamir Rice was, and he will never be able to play with toy guns outside. And he knows why he can't play with them, but other kids can. The color of his skin. I thought about leaving this story out because I don't want to leave a visual impression that reinforces our subconscious bias, linking Black boys to guns and violence. But I want you to understand that as a mother, I have to think about things for my Black sons that I don't have to worry about for my other kids, such as, should I restrict him from walking down to the 7-Eleven to buy Skittles, like Trayvon Martin? Black parents and parents of Black children have repeated conversations in order to keep our kids safe from a society full of prejudice. It's true, our neighborhoods are filled with good people. There are good police officers, like my uncle. But all people are not why we're here today. It's not why people are marching. My fear is that the boys, my two boys, will run into one of the bad ones, including the ones who don't stand up to the bad ones. Someone who will look at them with a bias and see them not as a 6-year-old or a 12-year-old or however old, but as a skin color and as a threat. I look at my charismatic, energetic, adorable 6-year-old and wonder, when is he going to turn into a perceived threat? At what age will someone look at my sweet son and see his skin color and automatically think that he did something wrong? At what point in his childhood will someone feel threatened enough to call the police, put him in handcuffs, tase him, worry enough for their safety that they harm him? I'm scared my son will get lost, knock on the wrong door to ask for directions, and then get shot by the homeowner like 14-year-old Brendan Walker. These are my fears, and this is my truth. So parents have to have the talk with our Black children. If you're ever stopped by the police, do not reach for their phone. Do not reach into your pocket. Keep your hands up and visible. Don't make sudden movements. Do not talk back. Say yes, sir, no, sir. Be quiet, listen, follow their instructions, be respectful. If someone is with you, have them record. Do not sign anything, do not write anything. And my boys say, "But mommy, that's not fair." Sweetie, you're right. This isn't fair, but you still have to be careful. These are my fears, and this is my truth. The term white privilege is sadly misunderstood by many white people. Many of those people worked hard and they don't see themselves as privileged or rich. That's not what this means. Well-meaning friends have told me to not have these worries. Everyone loves my boys. They're so sweet, they're so friendly, and I know these friends are trying to alleviate my fears, but by doing that, they're showing their privilege. It doesn't matter if my sons are sweet and friendly. If they encounter a person who only sees their skin color, I'm asking you today to see that these fears are real. If a friend confides her fears in you, listen to her concerns. Don't tell her not to worry. Understand that racism exists even in the nicest schools and the prettiest neighborhoods. Acknowledge that Black children will face challenges just because of the color of their skin, and it's not fair, and we want to get rid of it. When I tell you that kids recorded my son on the bus, called him the N-word, and posted a Snapchat saying, "Look at this Black kid's hair," I need you to condemn the action instead of saying, "Oh, boys will be boys." Black lives matter. This is not new. Black lives have always mattered. The early wealth of this country was built on the back of Black slaves, both through owning the slaves and earning interest off bank loans for slaves. Black people built this country. Black people contribute to this country. Black people are in the woven fabric of this country. The recent murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery are not a new type of injustice in the United States. Black people have been brutally killed in the Americas since the 1500s. That's 500 years. But now the brutality can and is filmed, it's seen, and it's discussed on the evening news and on the internet. What the Black Lives Matter movement is saying is stop killing Blacks. And yet people are arguing with this idea. Today and each day forward, there needs to be a call to action for Black lives. So what can you do as a white person? First, I'm imploring you to be the models of change that our kids deserve to see. You might think of racism as conscious hate, and it is, but it's also hidden, unconscious, and systemic. Start by having really difficult conversations with your kids. Explain what white privilege means and how they can and should use their voice to speak up when they hear something that's racist, to be courageous to use their voice. Second, have the difficult conversations with your family members and your friends when they share racist memes or jokes, when they spread misinformation on Facebook. Refuse to listen to racist talk, disrupt the racism online, and speak up in person. It might cost you relationships, but we have to embrace our discomfort and confrontation. Silence communicates complicity. Be courageous and use your voice. Third, educate yourself on Black history, racism, and inequality. This must include conversations where your role will solely be to listen. As uncomfortable as it is, there are difficult experiences that our Black friends have had, and we need to listen and acknowledge, I see you, I hear you, I mourn you, and I will fight for you. Listen to their courageous voice. Fourth, change where you spend your money. Investigate the companies you purchase from. Support businesses owned by Black and Latinx owners. Investigate companies who have made statements on the Black Lives Matter movement and those who have remained silent. Reward those with a courageous voice. Fifth, work and vote to ensure Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color are represented at all levels of our government, schools, school boards, businesses. Support and look for anti-racism training for employees, police, teachers, vote for those who will use their courageous voice. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, dedicate time and effort to reflect on your own biases and privilege. Think about your path through life, your daily interactions, your family, your friends, your worldview. How often do you think about the color of your skin? How often does it dictate your decisions? If the answer is never or almost never, that's a privilege. You don't have to think about that. Look around you. Look at the people around the world rising up right now. Look at the passion of this movement. This support can't fade. It can't just be trending. Solidarity for the Black Lives Movement has to continue because Black boys deserve to grow up.